Welcome to the Love Letters to Our Bodies podcast. I'm your host, Gwendolyn Mitchell, founder and CEO of Moyo Institute and lifelong spiritual seeker and energy worker, here for thoughtful conversations about health, healing, and happiness by, for, and about Black and African American women. Disclaimer, the Love Letters to Our Bodies podcast does not provide medical advice. The opinions, experiences, and insights shared are for informational purposes only. Nothing shared in this podcast is intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other healthcare provider. Don't disregard or delay seeking it because of what you've heard on this podcast. Thank you. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Welcome to the Love Letters to Our Bodies, conversations on health, healing, and happiness. I'm your host, Gwendolyn Mitchell. In this podcast, we'll be delving into topics that relate to our well-being. Today, we'll be talking with Astrid Richardson-Ashley. Astrid is a licensed clinical social worker and is a senior clinical manager at a charitable nonprofit in Baltimore. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree in chemical engineering from Johns Hopkins University. But after 20 years as an engineering consultant, she followed her passion and moved into healing work as a Reiki practitioner in the Usui system of natural healing. And she's also a friend. So welcome, Astrid.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gwen. That's a lovely introduction. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, what I'm really wanting to say is that you are more than simply a friend. You're also my thought partner on the Love Letters to Our Bodies project. And I've been so blessed to have the opportunity to work with you on this project. So I want to publicly acknowledge that and to give you thanks and really just dive right into how you came to be a part of the project.
Well, I want to say thank you because honestly, it's very sweet of you to call me your thought partner, even if I'm just maybe about 10% of your thought partner, because I know this was something near and dear to your heart. And I'm really honored that you allowed me to be a part of it. But yeah, I think just being lucky enough to know you and to be able to be there when this came to you and you wanted to develop this project. And I really appreciate that you thought about me and being a part of it and thinking through what we wanted to offer. And just the whole experience was lovely for me. But just getting to know you and being there in the right place at the right time is really how I got involved. But once you told me what you wanted to do, I thought, well, of course, I want to be a part of this, just to be able to bring something so profound and so necessary to our community, to the women in our community, was something that I couldn't pass up.
I think you're a little bit modest. And so let me just say that one of the reasons I invited you into the project was because of your background. Both of us were initiated in the Usui system of natural healing. And I know that you've led workshops for incarcerated people. I've led workshops for incarcerated people, and both of us are seekers and really very passionate about being able to help humanity. So that's the reason why I invited you, and I'm so glad that you accepted.
Yeah, well, thank you. And that's why I jumped at the opportunity, really, because I knew we were aligned in that mission of helping people. And coming from similar backgrounds, I just felt that it was going to be something that I would get a lot out of. And that has been the case. I've just felt really blessed and honored to be a part of this project. So thank you. And thank you for inviting me to come and speak about it today.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other part that I want to say that what I found most valuable is your systems thinking, because we tend to think about things in terms of the impact for people and how we want to really do good work and we want to do something that's useful. but not everyone has the ability to really organize their thinking in a way that helps the project move from point A to point Z. And I find that is one of your gifts and one of your skills. And it's something that I truly appreciate. Okay, so much for that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I do think that way. And I think it's systems comes from the engineering background, but also the social work background as well. We're always thinking sort of in a systematic way. So I'm glad that that could be a help to you.
Mhm. So, one of the roles that you've played in the workshops is really starting them off each morning with the setting of intention and actually walking through a process for setting intention in a ritual, in a beautiful way that really anchors what's going to happen during the workshop. So, how has that intention setting impacted your life? And talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, intention setting, was something that I wasn't very, I guess initially in the early parts of my life, not really thinking about too much. But over the years, maybe in my like early adult years, I started to really understand the power of intention and starting to set intentions for myself. I guess I'd always prayed, but didn't see prayer as setting an intention, but more of asking for just really asking for help. And now learning through meditation and even through Reiki practice has helped me to see that we have a role in our consciousness and the thoughts that we put out there and the intentions that we set can change our lives. And that's been my experience. Everything that I have in my life now has come from me wanting that and setting that intention, actually being purposeful about it. And so really felt natural to bring that to the workshop, to set that intention and to be there to help set the stage for the participants.
Beautiful. You're right. Intention plays an important role in manifestation. Whatever it is we desire, we've got to be conscious and purposeful. I like the description that you gave. In the workshops, we actually use sort of like a ritualistic formula for setting the intention. That's a part of our path that we're both setting in oneness. So, will you talk about how that works and how do you do that?
Yeah, sure. So, what we do or what I start out with is a mudra or hand posture. So, I guide the participants in what we call a sankalpa and setting our sankalpa or intention for the workshop. And using this hand posture really takes it up a notch. It creates an energetic seal that really connects the left and right sides of the brain and really brings the mind, body, and spirit together in unity for that specific purpose. So I've helped them to do the mudra and then have them repeat after me as I just set an intention, just several statements to help us ground ourselves in what we would like to get out of the workshop.
That's wonderful. And it does. It actually just sort of creates a container and a sacred container for everything that we're going to do that day. And I think that's one of the reasons why women are impacted in such a powerful way because of starting with that intention. And we also talk about ground rules and really just
Mhm.
getting everyone on the same page of respecting each other's opportunity to share and respecting people's privacy and things like that. So it really is a sacred container for the women to open up and really be candid in their sharing experience.
Exactly. And, really creating that safe, grounded space is so important. And so the Sankalpa process really sets that, and then it's continued on through everything that you do in the course, in the workshop, to continue to keep that container, to hold it. And we're holding that space for them throughout the 2 days.
So tell me, what was your favorite part of the workshop? What do you enjoy the most? We cover so much ground
Yes,
from
we do.
videos to testimonials to interactive polls and hearing from the women in breakout rooms. So, what's your favorite part?
Well, I love people. So my favorite part is meeting all of these lovely people. All of the women that have come to the course are unique and beautiful in their own ways, and they have their own stories and really beautiful, really powerful stories. So I just always feel like that's the best part. I mean, and we always have really dynamic speakers, so I learn a lot from our speakers. You've been great at picking the dynamic spotlight, the sister spotlights, all of that. But just those connections that we make over those 2 days of the workshop, I think is my favorite part. It just feels like we come in as, we don't know each other, but we do, like there's this sense of knowing each other, being in this space together. And even though we're all going through separate, maybe different things, we all kind of share this journey together. And I get to be on that journey with them, seeing them have revelations and then going away sort of somewhat changed. It's just really, it's lovely. It's just
Mhm.
rewarding. I love it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, we've had a couple of women even say, like, how can we continue this? So we've created community. Let's keep this
Hmm.
going. And you're right. We come in as strangers in most instances, like we don't know each other at all. And yet, in that short time, really strong bonds are formed and
Yeah.
really an atmosphere of support and care and kindness is formed. And what I would say is that the women are so courageous also and so resilient. And I've learned a lot from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've started the workshop initially because of my sister who passed with complications from cancer. And she had a
Mm,
recurrence of breast cancer, and she was never able to make peace with her body after
mm,
it changed.
mhm.
And it really got me thinking that this is something that all the women who have cancer, most of the people who have cancer end up changed in some way. And sometimes it includes losing some part of their body, whether it's a visible part or not. And to really be on a mission of helping people to accept that, to be able to recognize that even though those changes have occurred, they have
Mhm.
not been diminished in any way.
Absolutely.
They've actually entered a particular path, a particular field of journey that can be very healing for them.
Yes, I agree. Courage and resilience, two really, I say true words, for sure, with the women in these workshops. And they all are on some part of that journey. And they can be in different places, but the healing is happening in some way, shape, or form. And to be able to be a witness to that is profound. It really is.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. This idea of sacred space, holding sacred space, is something that I was first introduced to in Reiki, where we would actually sometimes use Reiki symbols to clear the energy in a room and to create a sort of a sacred container for whatever work was going to happen. And actually, now that we're really on this journey in oneness, I see that sacred space is also very important.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is important. I don't know. I mean, the grace that you can receive when you're holding sacred space. What I also had the same experience with Reiki and being able to hold that space for others. You're also receiving, that the sacredness is you're a part of that space. And, you're not separate. It fits right into that idea of oneness. And you feel it, you really, really do. And I think that's the beauty of this type of project and being in these workshops. We're holding this sacred space and you can feel it.
Hmm.
It's palpable. You can feel that energy, and the women who, the participants, come back and they say, something happened here. I can feel it, and people come back and say, I felt it, and it's amazing to me that we can do that. But I didn't know that we could. I had to learn it, and being able to be a part of others learning this and the importance of it and the power of it is just lovely.
Mhm. This year we moved into a couple of sacred processes during the workshop. So this year we had an opportunity to introduce a different format into the workshop. And I mentioned earlier that we were both seekers and our paths were aligned somewhat. And over the past, actually, it's been since 2010. So that's about 14 years. So, like over the past 14 years, I've been really involved with studying with master teachers in India, sometimes spending 30 days there at a time. And I've been there about 14 times also in
Mm.
this period, and really had the great fortune to be introduced to living avatars, Sri Amma and Sri Bhagwan, who are really giving us a number of gifts to share with humanity. So one of the things that we introduced into the workshop this year, we changed the format from the prior years, and we introduced something called Soma. And
Mhm.
Soma is a divine elixir that's downloaded into your glass that you have, your bottle of water that's in your possession. No one ever touches it. It's with you. And it really has the ability to change your state. It brings a state of joy and it brings a state of peace. And sometimes just a feeling of this beautiful, beautiful love that we're all a part of. And so I was so excited this year to be able to add Soma to the workshop. And, you
Mhm.
know, you'll recall that
Yes.
it was new for the women.
Oh, yeah, it was brand new, and they really seemed to enjoy it. I mean, I think it was a great addition to the workshop, and I think you've gotten some great feedback as well about it.
In fact, I have. In fact, just so the reader knows or the listener knows that the soma is, again, it's a divine elixir and your water taste changes. Sometimes what happens is the bottle gets filled with bubbles and other times it just becomes silkier, like
Mhm.
a nectar.
Yeah.
And other times it changes color or the taste of it will change. And so we never know what's going to happen. And
No.
we just pray for the soma to flow from the great compassionate light, which is made up of all of the great beings who have lived on this planet, who have achieved enlightenment and ascended to higher realms. They are the phenomenon behind this oneness work. And it's through their grace that this water changes, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So we did have some really interesting feedback, and I just share a couple of quotes with you from the women who attended the workshop and experienced that. This is from a sister named Brigitte who lives in North Carolina. She wrote to me, "Hello, Gwendolyn. Thanks again for the wonderful workshop. I haven't been to a paid workshop as powerful as that one. I wanted to let you know that one of my hands was blistered and darkened and swollen from chemo. And after the workshop yesterday, my hand is no longer swollen. It's not in as much pain either. Thank you. If I can do anything to help, please let me know. And I definitely want to participate in more healing sessions. Take care and enjoy your family while you're in Charlotte." This was when I was doing the workshop from Charlotte
That's
earlier this
beautiful.
year.
Oh, that's lovely.
The Love Letters to Our Bodies podcast is sponsored by Moyo Institute Incorporated, a nonprofit organization offering heart-centered educational experiences, and the Lloyd Symington Foundation, which supports visionary grassroots cancer programs. Yeah, and Dorcella wrote, Hi, Gwen. This is Dorcella. I want to say thank you again for this wonderful experience. I can't even begin to describe how tired I felt in the natural, but God graced me through. And when I have those moments, I think about what the enemy wanted me to miss out on. This was a wonderful experience that will forever be etched in my heart. Thank you.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
Daisy wrote that when I returned home from dinner out, the cup used for the Soma process had bubbles. I was really surprised. I checked the other room where I had a cup of water out and it did not have bubbles. I was sent to this process by God. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. So we
Yeah.
get feedback, and one of our facilitators sent me a picture of a glass full of bubbles, and
Mhm.
the bubbles are just one of the manifestations of the soma, but the primary point of it is how it affects our state. And I know you have experienced receiving soma many, many times. Do you want to
Yes.
share anything about how that's been for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I have had some really profound, and I can say that maybe sometimes I could be a skeptic. I was probably a skeptic at one point, but it is, as you said, your water. You put it in your glass and your bottled water. But when you drink it, I have had experiences of just laughter, just pure, just unadulterated laughter and joy. I could not stop laughing a few times. Other times it's just, like I said, just pure joy or love, like this feeling of being held and, just in so much unconditional love that you can't even really, you can't help but just let it all out. It's just a release will happen when well, for me, that's what happens. It just allows me to release anything that I'm holding and just really bask in that love of the great compassionate light. It's just absolutely, it's nothing, I've never experienced anything like that before or since, but it's beautiful.
Mhm. I agree. In fact, one of the things that happens to me is like the energy is so powerful that I literally have to hold myself back. I'm like doing things like just to keep from
Just trying to hold it in.
keep from laughing out loud because I'm also sometimes leading the
Right.
session, and I don't want to
Yeah.
disturb anyone's process, and I'm holding back, and sometimes I feel this explosion of joy and love in my heart. And what
Mhm.
I love about this process that we're involved in is that we get an opportunity to make soma every day. We get an
Mhm.
opportunity to simply sit and go through a few steps and a process and pray that soma be downloaded into our water. And so it gives us the ability to be in a calm state, be in a peaceful state, be in
Mhm.
a beautiful, joyous
Mhm.
state. And
Right.
so that's really one of the real gifts of, yes, of
Yeah,
this
I agree.
process.
That is it. It's a gift. And I am truly grateful. Actually, that's how we met. And I'm grateful that you introduced me to the oneness phenomenon, to the great compassionate light, and all of these beautiful processes since my life has never been the same. And it is due to the grace of the great
Mhm,
compassionate light.
mhm,
So thank you. We'll be eternally grateful to you for that.
mhm. Oh, you're welcome. I actually recently had a experience of a healing, for
Mm.
myself. I mean, I go through when I'm doing this work and I'm doing a lot of service and also, I'm a human. So the same kinds of things people are struggling with, I'm struggling with,
Yeah, sure.
and I don't have any illusions about it being differently. And for the last couple of years, I had been experiencing arthritis in my sacrum, so
Mm,
when I wake
mhm.
up in the morning, the very first thing that I felt was pain. And a
Right.
recent healing process that involved Soma, I really, from the great compassionate light, I was absolutely stunned. I asked that this be removed from my sacrum, that this pain be removed. And a couple days later, I noticed it may have been removed immediately, but I wasn't even thinking about it, right? And I woke up one morning and I was like,
Hey.
there's no pain there. There's no pain there. There's no
Wow.
pain there.
Wow.
And
That's
so that's been a
amazing.
tremendous gift,
Hmm.
to
Oh yeah.
be able to wake up pain free.
I'm happy for you. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's just one of many miracles.
Oh,
There have been
many,
so many for both
many.
me and my family. And I'm really
Hmm.
grateful for that. So,
Oh yeah, same. Likewise here. So many. Little one, it's usually something you don't even think about, but just the other day, just traveling, you just have a smooth experience. Just things move, the obstacles are removed, and it's just a beautiful flow, and that happens so often now that I can't say it's a coincidence. This is just how life can be. And it's a
yeah.
gift to be able to have that.
Yeah. Beautiful. The other thing that we talk about in the workshops is the connection between mind, body, and spirit. And
Mhm.
often what happens is our perception about the world is that life is happening to us. And I'd like to invite people into the understanding that life is happening for us and that there's a direct connection between what our inner world is like, what's going on in our head, our belief system, our ruminations, our thoughts, in particular repetitive thoughts, and what actually shows up in the life. And so the beauty of this process that we're talking about is it keeps us in a place where there's joy, where there's
Mhm.
peace. And so then the life actually does flow in a
Yeah,
beautiful way. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, exactly. And not to say that aren't, there are times when you may find yourself in a place you didn't intend to be, like not always joy, not always peace, not always calm, but it's just a matter of it's so simple to get back there,
Mm.
just to reconnect and get back into that flow because that is the natural flow. You get in out of balance and then you just find your way back to it. And that's what I also love about this workshop is because you're sharing this, that our natural state is bliss, our natural state is joy. And then we get to share that through the Soma, process and helping them with mudras and just for them to feel that connection of the mind, body, and spirit and it becomes an experience. It's not teaching, it's something that they actually feel and experience by the end of the workshop. And that's priceless.
Exactly. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The other thing that was new this year was the introduction of the I Am Conscious Black Beauty Project. And, when I first invited Dr. Williams to speak about that, she's the director of programs and initiatives from the California Black Health Network. It had another name. It was something to do with a non-toxic beauty
Non-toxic
products.
beauty project. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
And so I was blown away when she unveiled the new branding for the campaign. And it was like, I am conscious. And I thought, this could not be more on purpose because
Oh, yeah.
everything we're doing is about
Hmm.
becoming conscious,
Hmm. Hmm.
becoming aware. And whether it's becoming aware of how we let these messages about who we are, how we look into our
Hmm.
consciousness, into the way we think about ourselves,
Yeah.
or it's about becoming conscious of what I'm putting on my body, what I'm wearing. All of it is about becoming conscious. And I was just like blown away
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah, you could. I mean, really, it's just synchronicity, at work, when she said that. I felt the same way. I had the same reaction. But yeah, it was wonderful to hear her presentation And the participants also felt like, wow, this is, I really haven't thought about this.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't really thought about, we think about food, sometimes nutrition is usually something that we might think about, like, are you eating organically or that kind of thing? But the products that you use and how toxic some of these everyday things that we use, it just passes right by us. So I think that was something that the participants felt really, really appreciative of getting that information and having that perspective. I certainly did.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. So it's really also, I think, important to let people know that we do share spiritual principles based on our understanding that life is a conscious process and that everything is moving and, sometimes it's, as you say, sometimes it's chaotic and sometimes it's an even flow. But that's the process of the universe. Everything works that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that part of what we are learning is how to be effective co-creators in that process, and that this is not about religion at all. We
Mm-hmm.
use prayer, and prayer is important, and it's actually a science,
Yeah,
it's a
right.
formula for
Mm-hmm.
creation, right? And to really help people understand that there are ways to pray that will produce results faster and produce the kind of results that you want. So
Right.
all of that is involved in the workshops. And so, yes.
Yeah, and it's very well received. I think the way that you're an excellent teacher, you're an excellent presenter, and you give this information in such a way that it is very easy to take in, and to not feel threatened by it. And you're also very open to how everyone's sort of taking it in, and you're asking, how are you all feeling with that? Because we understand that some of these concepts, some of these things are very different, very new to people. And we understand that. And I think we're always being conscious of how we're holding that space. We're also thinking about their experience, asking them to let us know how this experience is for you, asking them to be open to what they're feeling and to use this opportunity to process that and think about things a little differently. But yeah, I mean, I have learned in my life, as I said at the beginning, that intention has made a huge, huge change in how my life has grown, has evolved. And I do see prayer now as such. This is part of me co creating with the universe, with the divine, right? To create the life that I want to have, to have this external experience. So, yeah, I love that this is also part of the workshop because it's important, I think, for people to know that. It's
Mhm.
empowering.
Indeed, it is. It is. So let me ask you what you would like to see. What are your hopes for the Love Letters project?
Well, I would love to see, well, one, that it continue. And as you said, there's so much information. We've tried to pack not too much, but just enough in these 2 days. I would love to be able to make it a little longer so we have more time to do that, to be able to really give the participants an opportunity to not just learn it, but to integrate it more, to be able to practice some of these things a little bit for a little longer, to build stronger bonds, just to be able to do more of what we do. But maybe a retreat, or something. We've talked about that with Erin Bionic Brown. She's, said, come on to the Bahamas, you all can do this retreat here. That would be amazing to be able to whisk them away, go somewhere beautiful, and really take the self care up a notch.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. That's one of my wishes too, the retreat. I'm making air quotes, right?
Yes, retreat. We would love a retreat.
Yes. And I really, in terms of what I hope for the project, is I hope that more women learn about it and more
Mhm.
women participate. We feel like this is like so important and so profound. And it's such a huge opportunity to change things,
Yeah.
affect the life path in mystical, magical, beautiful ways. And
Mm-hmm.
so to really accelerate that healing journey, I just really hope that this is one of the vehicles that helps more people to learn about the project.
Yeah, I hope so too. I agree with you. Getting it to more people, that's the ultimate goal.
Mhm, mhm. And we will be doing more and different kinds of things. And one of the suggestions that I'm going to follow up on soon is that we continue with like maybe once or twice a week for a
Mm-hmm.
brief sort of meeting up again, a meet and
Mm-hmm.
greet, and to really
Okay.
see how people are doing and maybe
Yeah.
to go through a meditation, go through some work with the hand mudras so
Mm-hmm.
that people can really anchor that in their experience and get the benefit of it.
Right, right. To take that and be able to continue that support and that community. Because again, I think some participants shared that those who are following maybe different paths can feel somewhat isolated in
Yes.
other communities for survivors and for those who are in treatment. And it would be great to create a community with others who feel supported by these practices, by this type of space. We want to
Mhm.
create a space for that,
Mhm.
an ongoing space. Yeah.
Yes, yes, for sure. So, do you have any closing remarks or anything that you'd like to say to our listeners?
No, I mean, I again just believe that this project is so very valuable. I know it's a labor of love, and I so appreciate that you are allowing me to be on this journey with you. It's something that I think everyone should get an opportunity to experience. You have to experience it to really know how powerful it can be. But once we really are able to set an intention to learn how to anchor ourselves in love and to learn to love our bodies for all its beauty and flaws, and it's life changing. It really, really is. And there's so much going on in that workshop
Mhm.
that I would just hope that everyone listening has an opportunity to experience it. You won't be disappointed.
Beautiful. Thank you for listening to Love Letters to Our Bodies, conversations on health, healing, and happiness. Today, we've been speaking with Astrid Richardson-Ashley about the power of intention and sacred space. Thank you so much for being here, Astrid.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
So, listeners, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our next episode. And remember, your body is beautiful. Love it. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening to Love Letters to Our Bodies, conversations on health, healing, and happiness. To find out more about the Love Letters to Our Bodies project, visit our website at moyoinstitute.org. That's MOYO Institute.org. Follow us on social media and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. If there are topics you'd like for us to discuss, let us know. Remember, your body is beautiful, girlfriend. Love it.